نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذين لا يؤتون الزكاة وهم بالآخرة هم كافرون صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم. All praises for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of this cosmos, and may the choicest blessings of Allah be upon our Nabi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. So as we continue in this short sort of bite-sized videos for zakat, I just wanted to cover the Quranic sort of concept and the Quranic significance of this area of zakat in the opening verse as I recited to you. And this is a verse which is agreed upon by the ulama. They say that those who don't give zakah will be raised as disbelievers in the next world, and this is Surah Al-Fasila, just to give you these sort of there's many verses of the Quran which refer to zakat. I believe zakat is mentioned in the Quran on 30 different occasions, and 27 of those occasions it is interlinked with salah. Okay, it shows the importance of zakat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeats this command and this hukam, for our benefit, really to emphasize on its importance. And the word sadaqah, which is also sort of used interchangeably with zakah, especially with certain verses of Al-Quran Al-Hakim, we see sadaqah comes around about 13 times in the Quran. Okay, but again, just to see and just to understand that this is the importance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attaches with this concept of zakat and sadaqah and charity and giving alms for those who are poor and destitute in the world, and a farz, that an obligation upon us to give this wealth to the poor and destitute in the world. Just a point that I wanted to make here, it's amazing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only on one occasion in the Quran commands the ummah to fast, okay, which is the next pillar of Islam, Sawm. Okay, only on one occasion does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us to fast. And alhamdulillah, if you look, everywhere around the world, all ummatis of the Prophet alayhi salam, they fast vigilantly, they fast militantly, without any delay, without any problem, alhamdulillah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only commands us once, to fast, okay, and perform this obligation of Sawm. But on the other side, we see 30, on 30 different occasions Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention of zakah in the Quran, but astaghfirullah, and unfortunately, in this day and age, people are extremely negligent with respect to paying zakah. They don't mind paying, for expensive and elaborate insurance and VAT and taxes and all this other stuff that they need to pay for. But a sort of very small figure of 2.5% of the wealth and assets that they have, people struggle and they don't wish to pay zakat. Unfortunately, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability and the understanding to appreciate this payment of zakah in the hukam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to the hukam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anyway, I just wanted to discuss the issue of intention, okay, niyyah, with respect to paying zakat. It's extremely important coming from a fiqh point of view, alright? You need to have intention when making payment for zakat, okay? And this is an important part of the intention. So much so that if somebody was to have £100,000 in their total assets, and they was to give that away, okay, and they would say, they was to say that, I give this £100,000 to XYZ charity. If they were to say this, and they gave this money away, but they didn't intend to give it in the form of zakat, that charity which they gave would be sadaqah. It would just be it'd be charity, which is optional as opposed to the obligatory charity. Of course, because all their wealth has now been given away, there would be no zakat upon them anyway, because they don't own anything. They don't own beyond the nisab level. However, an important distinction nevertheless that we need to consider when making intention, okay, we need to consider when paying zakat, we must have the relevant intention, okay. Similarly, if I paid zakat on behalf of my mother or my father or my wife, and I didn't ask their prior permission, this wouldn't be zakat on their behalf. You do need to actually ask their permission. And zakat is something which is an individual obligation. Your wife has her own zakat to pay, you have your own zakat to pay, your adult children pay their own zakat, your parents pay their own zakat, and so on and so forth. So this is an important distinction for those who think they can pay it without the permission of others. Okay, so we need to understand this from a Shari point of view. So intention also, just going back on one point, just so there's a differentiation been made here. Zakat and sadaqah are used interchangeably. It refers to charity which is given to the poor and destitute. However, there's a slight difference with respect to zakah and sadaqah, and that is that sadaqah is something which is more on which can be given on a voluntary basis, as opposed to zakah being that which is farz and that which is obligatory, and this is established through the Quran and the ahkamat. Inshallah, in the next video we'll continue a little bit more with respect to zakah. Until next time, وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ.